The longest, this is a little off topic. For the longest time, RJ kept trying to tell me about this band. He was like, "Oh, the band's called Adderist. They're great. They're Adderist. They're pretty cool sounding band, alternative sound." And I was like, "I never heard of them, man." He's like, "Yeah." And then one day he like shows me a song that was on YouTube, and I was like, "I know this." This is the Ataris. You guys are called the Ataris. He's like, "Oh, that's what they're called, Ataris." I was like, "Yeah, I would have known who this band was this whole time if you had like given me the name right." And then he was calling like Jeff Loeb, the comic writer. He was calling him Jeff Loeb for a long time. And then I was watching an interview, and he was just like, "Yeah, hey everybody, my name's Jeff Loeb." And I was like, "So you've been saying that wrong this whole time? So have I." So there's a good chance his name's Mark Millar.
Right.
There's a good chance. Right. Yeah.
If you got it from RJ.
Yeah, I got it from RJ. It's probably him. It's probably his Millar.
It's probably
Millar.
Off.
Yeah.
It's probably off. Because everybody listening right now is like, who are they talking about?
Yeah, Mark Millar. Who's
right.
that?
Yeah, Mark Millar wrote that. What are you talking about?
Right, yeah. This is Geek Off The Street, your go-to channel for all things from obscure geekdom to modern-day pop culture and everything else in between. What's up, everybody?
Greetings. It's that time again.
Yes, it is. We did not leave you hanging.
Right. Best time of the weekend. Best time of your life.
Yes. We're consistent. We're here every week.
You're welcome.
Because my name's Trent.
And my name is Mark.
And this is
Geek Off The Street.
Greatest podcast of all time. Talking about geek culture, pop culture, and
anything else we want to talk about.
Exactly.
Deal with it. I don't know why I'm so angry right now. I apologize.
I did it last week, too. That still made me laugh just as much as I did last week, yeah. When I was like editing and I was watching, I was like, that's pretty funny. But yeah, this week's no exception.
It is
because we're talking about Netflix's brand new series called
The Chosen One,
which is based on the comic book by Mark Millar.
Right, and that guy has put out a boatload of stuff. This is the third thing that Netflix has optioned from him.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, he's put out a ton of stuff, and man, it'd be so. I can't even remember all of it right now. But did you like Civil War? Mm-hmm. That was him. What else? House of M? No, he didn't do House.
No, he did House of M, but he is responsible for
Jupiter's Legacy,
Kick-Ass, Wanted. Yeah, which also got made into a movie.
Yeah. Kingsman.
Yep, another one. If you were a fan of Marvel Zombies, he technically created Marvel Zombies and Ultimate Fantastic Four. So he's like, he's been around.
Right, all the stuff. Yeah, it goes back to him right now.
Right, but what we're talking about though is his creator-owned series called American Jesus.
American Jesus was the original title. Yeah, 2004?
2000, I believe so. 2004, 2009, one of the two.
Oh, okay.
Really, a while ago.
Okay,
a while ago. And it actually, the comic book just ended, I think, this year.
Oh, really?
Kind of a big gap between the first run and
interesting.
And I'll get into that a little bit later. But basically, new series on Netflix from the acquisition of Millar World. I think the rights, the live action rights.
Right.
From his comic book company. Yeah.
It's a great investment.
Great idea, man.
Jupiter's Legacy. We didn't say Jupiter's Legacy. That was also him.
We did.
Did we?
You did, actually.
I did. Okay.
Yeah. And then Super Crooks was the other one.
Edit that out. Yeah, Super Crooks.
Yeah, that was the other one. So it's really cool that he's getting all of his titles adapted, because he had Kick-Ass adapted, Wanted adapted, but it was kind of few and far between. Kingsman, but it was kind of like long gaps, and no one was continuing the series really. And when he sold Millar World the rights to Netflix, it was like everything got optioned.
Right.
Because at one point he had like sold a bunch of his he'd optioned a bunch of his stories to various studios, but they just never made them. So I think they reverted back to him, and he sold them all to Netflix or something. I don't know, but yeah. Big deal.
That's good. So yeah, we'll get some. Hopefully, we'll keep getting some good Millar content.
Yeah, which is great, which I'm excited for. But before we get into that, what are we drinking this week, and how are we doing?
Yeah, we are drinking sake, just straight sake this week.
Yeah, and something from the motherland.
Yes,
our mother's motherland.
Yes, our motherland. Yes, Taiku sake.
Yes,
it's delicious. It's delicious. We had
it's refreshing.
Small our little drinking clip.
Yeah,
really simple, guys. Taiku. Like, hopefully this. I know we have some listeners in Japan. We got some listeners all over the world, which is very strange. But
Germany's
guys,
still listening, man.
Every week.
You guys are wunderbar. Wunderbar, right? Yeah.
That's what you say, yes.
It's the only thing I know how to say.
But yeah, this is it.
Yeah, it's delicious.
You can drink whatever you want.
And there are actually other flavors that's Taiku. The first flavor that I had was like a melon flavored one, and it was delicious.
I bet that sounds good.
Yeah, so all the Taikus that I've had are really good. This is just the straight regular sake, and it's tasty. I like sake.
Yeah, this is their, I guess for their normal sake, they have 2 different kinds. This is the premium one in the black bottle.
For the premium, huh?
I did. Hey,
classic
treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Right. If we don't treat ourselves, who will?
Exactly.
Look at that. I'm already empty.
Agreed.
So,
well, so am I.
Top that off.
But start off with how we're doing this week. I did nothing special.
Okay.
I don't think. I thought I did something. I already talked about Rogers last week, but yeah, no, I guess I didn't do anything this week.
Right on.
I thought I did something, but I guess I didn't.
Over the weekend, maybe?
Yeah, but probably not.
Okay. Well, it was my sister's birthday
happy
earlier in the week. So happy birthday,
Yeah,
Reagan. Yes, we went. Were you thinking of her name? You're like,
no, I was wasn't sure we should say her name on the air or not. Like,
that's
I'm
a
not
good
sure.
point. That's a good
She wants
point.
they don't want to hear it or not, but
yeah, she won't mind. I'm sure.
she doesn't even know. Does she listen to our show?
Yeah.
I imagine
Probably
she
not,
doesn't.
right? Yeah.
She's probably listening to it right now because she's below us. Yeah, listen to it every week while we're talking about it.
Pop, pop.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Shut it down.
So that was cool, and we got together, family and friends and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So that was very cool.
Very cool.
Let's see what else. I'm still car shopping.
Yeah,
I
saw the rental out there. Is there like a time limit on your rental or?
Well, I guess you can always keep renting it. I'm sure they don't mind. But I definitely want to stop doing it. I'm leaning towards a Tesla.
Nice.
Only because now at this point I've put so much work into possibly getting one. Now it's like, well, now I have to get one kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, there's just some bad timing. Every time I see one that I'm ready to order and put the, hit that send button.
Yeah.
I want to know when it's going to get there.
Yeah.
They do everything online. Getting someone to try to actually speak to you.
Is there no like Tesla dealerships or anything like that? Or
there's not.
really?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I don't think there are. Not anything local.
Yeah,
anyway,
nearby,
you have to drive somewhere for it.
Yeah,
which
but
isn't
I
that
think
big a
I'm
deal.
pretty sure I saw in Costa Mesa by Tokyo Central.
Yeah.
That used to be like a luxury dealership right next to it. I think it's a Tesla one now.
That might be something to look into because at one point I was looking to drive out to like Cathedral City, I think, to pick one up.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm going to do all that, I may as well just go down
to Costa Mesa,
right.
jump over to Book Off.
There's
a great ramen shop on the other side. Make a day of it.
That other ramen shop's gone, huh? That first one that we went to? You said
Yamadai. Yeah, that one closed down, unfortunately.
I love those guys.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was where the original Ramen Boys started.
Yeah,
Ramen
Boys. Good times.
Shout out to Tomas and
looking at you.
Sebastian. Seabass.
Yes, Seabass.
The original Ramen Boys.
The OG Ramen Boys. Got to get that group back together.
Yeah.
So, but that's all I can think of that I've done this week. I do have, I take that back. Some of my other friends had birthdays this week as well. That's why it was very hectic.
Yeah.
So Elaine, Anthony, happy birthday, guys. Love you both.
Happy birthday.
They are listeners, somewhat, I think.
Better be.
Yeah, they're good friends.
Or
they constantly harass me. Yeah, we're gonna rescind it. I'm gonna see them, I think, tomorrow, and we're gonna celebrate all together.
Very cool.
So it was really hectic trying to between juggling what we were doing for my sister and everything over here.
Yeah.
But Elaine, Anthony, happy birthday. Love you both. We'll see you tomorrow.
Nice.
Yes.
Very, very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Let's move on to shout outs. I got a big one.
Oh, you got a big one?
Mr. Greg Sorber released his book.
Yeah, true.
Rally Point, book number 4 in the Mech Haven series.
Yes.
If you guys listen to us, we talk about Greg almost every week or every other week.
Constantly.
Yeah, and his new book released this week. I think yesterday, right?
Today's Saturday. Was it on Thursday?
Oh, it was Thursday. Okay.
I think it was Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I think so. The point
is,
he's local talent.
Yes.
He's put out 4 books in the Mech Haven series.
4 books in the last, has it been like 2 years, 3 years now?
Probably. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe about 2 years.
About the time that we've been doing the podcast.
Yeah. So he's been working on these clearly for a cool
kicking
minute.
them out, man. Yeah.
Right.
He's
just dropping them when he wants.
Yeah.
And a little bit of this.
Yeah, major shout out to Greg though, man. His books, his first book is great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the second one right now.
Right on.
Trying to catch up. Ordered the third one already. It's on my bookshelf.
Nice.
I read that one too, and then I ordered the new one.
Right.
A lot of reading to do, but I'm excited.
All right.
Yeah.
So maybe, what are we thinking? Maybe next week, the week after?
Think we can get him on? How do you
I
feel?
don't know. I'll talk to his people. Have our people talk to his people.
Full on just gonna be like, Mark, I'm putting in the calendar for like the 3rd week of September. You got till the 3rd week of September
to make it happen.
And that's it. Like no other takesies backsies.
Takesies, backsies.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Okay.
That was on like Dumb and Dumber, I think, or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so shout out to Greg. Awesome, man.
Yeah, and Greg, if you are hearing this, this is the official invitation, gauntlet dropped. Come on down, be on the show. Let's talk about the Met Caven series.
Yeah, sorry, we're like 2.5 years late.
Yes, but you know me and you know Trent. So, but you definitely know me.
Yes.
And you know, like, oh, Mark, okay, I'll never.
I was going to reach out to him and be like, dude, I don't know, maybe you're friends with him. Maybe you could push him a little bit. Maybe you could push Mark a little bit to get through so we can have you on the show. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be definitely cool to have him on and talk about his 4th book, man. That's freaking insane.
Or whenever you're ready, whenever you can make the time. But we will definitely make the time for you officially.
Most definitely.
So yeah, whenever you can from this point on, reach out to me. You got people that know my people. Yeah. AKA your brother-in-law. You know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, then our producers upstairs.
Yeah.
On the roof. We'll send out the information to you.
Yes, the raccoons.
Perfect. All right, additional shout-outs. I got a couple. This is loading too slow, but I'm not even on the right Instagram page. Shout-outs to a couple of podcasts for sure have followed us. I don't know about these guys. Fucking Team on Insta. I don't know who they are.
I like them.
And then there was another podcast. Aaron. He responded to our drink last week.
Okay.
He was pretty excited about it. He said, it will be epic. It'll be an epic video to see you guys make the infamous Adios concoction. And I responded, I might be a little too old for that one.
What now?
The it's Adios. It's called
Adios.
Yeah, I was like, that one I probably can't.
Hey.
I'd be a little too old for that one.
I'm down. Whenever my thinking is, once I kind of learned what was in it, I'm like, that's pretty simple. You just throw this in, you add some other stuff,
so you're kind of
practically done.
Yeah,
I'm down to do it.
Yeah,
challenge accepted.
All right, Aaron, you're just trying to get us drunk here. Another shout out to the Social Mirage, their channel, I believe.
Cool.
And then there was another podcast that was hilarious that I wanted to. I can't find them now. It's
we will shout you out eventually.
The Likely Off Topic podcast.
Likely Off Topic.
Two guys out of Britain, I think.
Really?
They're British guys, and they just talk about random stuff. They're pretty funny.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty funny guys, yeah. So they followed us, reached out a little bit. Yeah.
England? I
love
it.
All over the place. Oh, and MC Podcast.
Podcast. I love that.
They responded and they're saying, response will come soon to the One Piece one. I think they're going to respond to what you said about One Piece. So.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. The One Piece series is coming out pretty soon.
Oh, that's
right around the corner.
Where that's actually next
Thursday, I want to say.
Yeah. We got to watch all that.
I'm curious about that.
That might be next week's episode, actually.
I think that's supposed to be, unless Greg wants to jump in.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe it has to be the following. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Greg,
we'll figure it out.
Open invitation.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it so far, I think. Right? Shout-outs are good.
Shout-outs are good. Let's get into The Chosen One.
Let's get into The Chosen Ones. As we were saying, it's based on the book by Mark Millar, drawn by, I just looked it up a little earlier today, but you forgot it. But Mark Millar, as we were saying, very famous comic book writer. I think for me, he's like one of the premier comic book writers,
right?
Or he was for a long time. I mean, he still is. He writes a lot still through his own company.
Yeah.
And I remember back when I was first getting into comic books, like I was saying in like episode 0, Mark Millar wrote Civil War and Kick-Ass, and those are the first 2 comic books that I read.
Yeah.
In 2007-ish, 2008, and that hooked me on comic books. So I owe everything about where I am right now, sitting in this seat, because of Mark Millar's 2 books.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
Those books really showed me what comic books could do.
Yeah.
And after that, it was off to the races. And now I have 1 million comic books. They're taken up my dad's garage. And I have so many of them. But yeah, Mark Millar, and the funny thing about Mark Millar, like back then, I'm not sure if it had to do with the publisher he was going through, because I know he was publishing through Icon, which was like a division of Marvel. I think Marvel owned Icon. Because when he was publishing like Kick-Ass, he would like release an issue, everyone would go crazy over it.
Yeah.
But then the next issue wouldn't come out for 2 months. The third issue would be like 4 months later, and then just be like they would never come out like on time, on a regular basis. So you'd forget about it. He did that for a couple of years, and then when I'm not sure if it had to do with his company, Millar World, and he started self-publishing maybe or whatever it was, but he would release like 5 or 6 comic books a month, and they'd come out like every week. It was like Superior, Nemesis, and MPH, Super Crooks. All his books came out around the same time and like consistently, like, and he was just like pumping them out. I was like, how are you writing these many crazy, really good stories?
Right.
But the other thing that he did though is that he would do a series, and then he'd be always like end of book 1 at the end of it, and then you wouldn't see it for years. So like, great example is American Jesus, which we're talking about today.
Yeah.
That came out in like 2009. Book 2 didn't come out to 2020.
Jeez.
And then book 3 came out in 2023.
Wow.
And then now it's over. The series is over. But like, there's a big gap between a lot of his stories. I think Nemesis came out in the late 2000s as well, and I think he's on issue 3 or 4 of the second book now. So it's been like, so he has a big gaps in between story arcs that he does, which is kind of I don't know, his thing, I guess. But maybe maybe
it's not uncommon. I mean,
maybe he's like mulling over the stories. Maybe he doesn't. He wants to be right, you know, and that's important, I think. But
I'm thinking of George R.R. Martin with the Game of Thrones theories or stories and all that. And I know obviously everyone's still waiting on that last book to come out. And I think these books originally came out like in the late 90s or early 2000s. So it's been a long time.
Are there 7 of them now? Or
I think this will be the 7th one.
Oh, this will be the 7th one.
Yeah, this will be the 7th one, I believe.
People have been waiting for it, right?
Yeah. They've been waiting a long time.
Is it the last one?
It'll be the last one. This has been the longest gap in between.
Yeah.
And he's been doing other projects. Like he's written other books in the meantime. So maybe it's kind of the same thing with him.
Yeah.
Maybe he just had something else he wanted to talk about. Millar or some other story. He focused on that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's got like one called The Magic Order, which is like adult Harry Potter, basically. Kinda. And it's like he's like on book 4 for that one right now. So he's like been spending a lot of time with Magic Order. So there's a lot of books in between that he's done. So it's not like he's just like stopping writing, but he's doing a lot of other series. Yeah. And I fell behind because there's so many, like this Prodigy. There was Chucky the Bounty Hunter. So many books that he did that I didn't catch up on. Yeah. Because I think maybe during the time I was like moving, I didn't have time to keep up with comic books at the same time also. But I don't know, just a lot of books. So the point is that he is just pumping out books. His stories are usually always great. And it is awesome to see.
Reminds me of Stephen King. Just the fact that how was one guy like Stephen King? How can you write so many books, so many stories, so many short stories, novellas, whatever you're doing, and they're all fantastic.
There's so many hits,
and you've been doing this for like how many decades?
Yeah, without losing steam. Really,
without losing steam.
I don't read much of Stephen King, but still, he's
like almost everything he writes gets
and everyone knows who he is.
Into a movie.
Exactly. Yeah, very similar. So, that's like Mark Millar for comic books. I feel like.
Right.
And the other thing is that I used to get frustrated when he would have a movie get made. Yeah. Because it was almost never like the comic book.
Oh, yeah.
Like Wanted is not even the same thing, except for the people's names. Like really.
Really, wow.
Like, it's not even the same concept at all. Oh, not really the same concept at all. Kick-Ass changed a lot in the movies because they started making the movies before he even finished the comic book. And so it really kind of tanked towards the second half of the movies. Yeah. And so I always get kind of frustrated about that fact. But The Chosen One is, I think, the most similar. Some.
Oh, got away.
Damn it. In some ways, it's it's similar. Yeah. More similar than his other stuff has been. Okay. As far as being adapted closely to the source material. Right. There's there are a lot of different changes in the show, obviously, but pretty close though. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know one thing that you were saying is the show or the comic book originally, I guess it takes place in America. It doesn't take place in...
It takes in Peoria, Illinois,
really?
I think.
Okay, that's as white bread as it gets.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Very different.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back, though. I won't say very different. I mean, it's possible they're very religious.
Yeah, Bible Belt-ish,
right?
Maybe
yeah. I mean, it's not quite the Bible Belt, but I would imagine it's
small town, Midwest.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of.
And and in Baja California, I'm sure. Well, anything typically when you are dealing with the Mexican culture, normally.
Yeah. I don't want to assume anything, but I don't think I've met a Mexican friend whose family
is not religious,
not
religious
Catholic.
Right.
So I think it was kind of a smart choice. Yeah, to set it there, and I'll get into some of those reasons I think later. Yeah. But basically, point is the story's about a young man, young
12-year-old,
preteen kid that starts to show some abilities. Very reminiscent of
Jesus Christ and the miracles he performed.
Yeah, exactly, from the Bible.
Yeah, go read the Bible.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know where that's from. Yeah. And he kind of goes on this like journey of like trying to understand who he is and what's happening to him.
Yeah.
And essentially, he's he's like the modern day Jesus, I guess. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And which is, I mean, that's not necessarily it's not a new concept.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of stuff of the last 10 years. I think even on Netflix alone, there have been at least one or two different shows that have come out.
There's another series called The Chosen one on
Yeah,
Netflix.
there is another one called The Chosen. Or I think it might be called The Chosen.
Oh, The Chosen?
I think it's called The Chosen,
gotcha, okay.
yeah. And I don't know if that's the same one where it does take place with I believe he's a Mexican character, and he's walking around saying, "I'm Jesus." I haven't watched it. I have it on my list of things to watch.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So the concept isn't necessarily new.
Yeah.
It's always to me, it's a very cool concept.
Yeah.
Because I always imagined I don't even know what it would be like if Jesus were to, make an appearance, or if he were to come back. I mean, it just opens up so many great philosophical questions about humanity. Like Jesus could have come back 5 different times. With the way people are nowadays, or from the time that he was here and gone to now. He could have come back a dozen times, and people were like, "Nah, I don't believe you." Right. Skeptic, kill him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to me to see these kind of stories and how they decide to how well they decide to do them. You know?
Yeah.
And it was great that they took this one in that small town feeling, and it just kind of grows.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there's a lot of cool things about that. I think particular aspect of the show. But I guess can positive negatives. I guess. Yeah. The first thing is that I just gotta say, this is what I've been clamoring for.
Okay.
And I'll get into the quality of the show obviously a little bit later, but we need more of this type of adaptation for comic books,
comic book story,
movie,
without
series,
lasers,
or just the same formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were just last week talking about the formula of superhero movies with Blue Beetle, and this. I bet you 95% of people that turned on this show didn't know it was based on a comic book.
Guarantee it.
I guarantee that. There's no way. The show doesn't feel like a comic book. And then most people haven't heard of this comic book, I imagine. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, most regular people. Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool to know, for me in the back of my head, oh, this is a comic book. This is based on Mark Millar's American Jesus. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool to have that come out.
Yeah,
and it's really cool that Netflix is taking a chance on all these independent comic books, and I think we need more of that. This could be the start of that kind of movement into different comic book adaptations, and I think it's pretty bold of Netflix to do this story, but also do a independent comic book, and it's kind of exciting to see something different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, we were just talking about the praises of Mark Millar or Miller. I know we were talking about that before.
Yeah, maybe it was Miller. It might be Miller. Yeah.
I know. We're going with Millar until we hear otherwise.
I blame it on RJ because RJ multiple times has pronounced people's names wrong or band names wrong.
Shit, there we go.
And he's the one who introduced me to him. Yeah. He's
all ooh toi. Who's ooh toi? You too. Oh, what? Oh, man.
God, for the longest, this is a little off topic. For the longest time, RJ kept trying to tell me about this band. He was like, "Oh, the band's called Adarist. They're great. They're Adarist. They're pretty cool sounding band, alternative sound." And I was like, "I never heard of them, man." He's like, "Yeah." And then one day he shows me a song that was on YouTube, and I was like, "I know this. This is the Ataris. You guys are called the Ataris." He's like, "Oh, that's what they're called, Ataris." I was like, "Yeah, I would have known who this band was this whole time if you had given me the name right." And then he was calling Jeff Loeb, the comic writer. He was calling him Jeff Loeb for a long time. And then I was watching an interview and he was just like, "Yeah, hey everybody, my name's Jeff Loeb." And I was like, "So you've been saying that wrong this whole time, so have I." So there's a good chance his name's Mark Millar.
Right.
There's a good chance, yeah.
If you got it from RJ.
Yeah, I got it from RJ. It's probably him. It's probably Miller.
It's probably
Miller.
Off.
Yeah.
It's probably off. Because everybody listening right now is like, who are they talking about?
Yeah, Mark Millar. Who's that?
Yeah, Mark Millar wrote that. What are you talking about?
Right, yeah.
Good stuff. Man, I got off top. Where we?
Yeah, you're saying the cool. Yeah, sorry, you just something about Mark.
Oh yeah, that with Netflix taking a chance on him.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a sure bet because I guess Jupiter's Legacy didn't work out the way they wanted to, which was dumb. They really should have pursued that.
Yeah, just kept it going. And I mean, the first season was mishandled for sure.
Right.
And way over budget.
Yeah, but when you know what happens in that story, it's like
you know what's coming. That's gonna blow everyone's mind.
And I've said it a million times. That could have been the Game of Thrones of the superhero world.
Yeah,
They just decided, nah.
That second season was gonna be crazy.
It was gonna be
if
nuts.
they followed anything like the comic book,
right?
And they already set it up. Brainwave was gonna take over. It was already there.
Yeah, the first episode of the second season could have been
the start of the comic book.
Could have been that jaw-dropping episode. Like what?
Yeah,
the F just happened now.
It's insane, man. I need to go back and read that one too.
Yeah,
man. That's a good one.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
but they blew it. So, but anyways, you messed that up, Netflix, but you're doing all right.
Yeah,
with this one. So,
yeah.
So it is kind of a sure bet in a sense.
Yeah,
that producing his stuff is going to get you some good results.
Yeah. And if you stay close to what he's already done, you can't lose, man.
Right.
Like it's already the plan's laid
himself.
out. Right. The story's already there. It's already you bought it for a reason because it's well written and it's engaging and it's great. It's already there. Just follow that plan, man.
And don't mess it up.
Yeah, don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Just connect the dots, man.
Right, yeah. Just put the right people in the right spot.
Right.
Just turn the camera on and get those panels in there, and you're good.
Yeah. So positives for the most part. Again, I did like the setting. I like how they I was gonna say kind of like the progression. The progression was a little we'll get into that, I suppose. Yeah. Overall, though, I did like the series. It did feel fairly grounded for the most part. It didn't feel too far-fetched, or there weren't a lot of plot holes that I really remember, like, oh, there's no reason why that would happen. Or I think there might be, one or two here and there, but nothing that just derails the whole entire series, fortunately. I thought some of the actors and they were really good.
Some of them.
Yeah, the main character was...
That was my negative, man. I did not like that kid at all.
Yeah, I mean, God bless him. No pun intended. I don't know if he maybe just was not that great of an actor, had a difficulty with the source, but maybe he's getting some bad direction.
Yeah, maybe he's getting... Yeah,
maybe that's part of it, too.
Yeah, they wanted to play it a certain way.
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever I see... especially with kids, try to do this smirk, like the evil smile thing. It's like you don't even look like you're smiling naturally. So don't do that.
He does it a few times.
Yeah, he's done it. He does it a few times.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, would you smile like that? Like, smile for real, show your teeth, kind of thing. I don't know. Or maybe just do that smiling smirk, like, it's almost like, that old fashioned, I'm rubbing my, or you're twirling your evil mustache.
Yeah.
It's the same
obvious
concept. Yeah. And it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
I swear I'm on the positives. But I did like that one kid, especially towards the end where they are dealing with a loss of a friend. The kid that was Wagner was the character's name.
Yeah.
When he was crying, that felt like really good crying. That felt like he really lost his friend. That felt like that is how a child, a 12-year-old, would cry. That seemed great. That was better than everybody else's, crying that I saw.
I was gonna say even the bully, the guy Angelo.
Angelo. Yeah.
I think he like his scenes where he was like either emotional when his dad died the second time, or when he was like about to get killed. Like, there's real fear. I was like, this kid's pretty good.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see. Like, and here's the interesting thing about that kid too. When you saw, like, he was acting even when you couldn't see his face, right? Like when he was strung up, and you see him breathing, like you saw him breathing hard, and I'm like,
that's acting.
He's acting. He's acting with his back right now.
Right.
He's acting with his back.
Yeah.
Give him some props.
Right. Yeah. That kid, I was like, very stereotypical bully. But then
at some parts he was very stereotypical. But I think as we got more into his story, and you see everything that he's dealing with and what he's trying to do, And again, very stereotypical bully. Some parts were like,
okay. I mean,
when he was being the stereotypical bully.
Yeah.
But once we got into the meat and potatoes of that character and what he was about and what he was going through, it was like,
that's pretty tough. And those performances are, he was pretty solid, man. So like, some actors were astounding, like very good.
Yeah.
Others were a little flat. You know?
Exactly. It was a little flat. So I think that was my biggest positive was Wagner, and then also Angelo, whatever you called him. What else? Do you have any other?
I really liked that they kind of like pushed the mass hysteria, the kind of overbearing religious, like what is that? Like religious fanaticism. I feel like
that fervor.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of taking advantage of those specific people in this kind of really poor town with small town. Yeah, small town. A lot of them don't have much, and really the only thing they have is faith and religion, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And then to see this kid doing these miracles, it was very. I mean, rightfully so. They see something that's crazy like this and they believe it and they go full fledged. But some episodes got really like manic. I think like what was the one episode where he like has the blood in his hand. He starts putting it on people's heads. Yeah. Like people were starting to get kind of crazy.
Right.
Like, I was like, this is.
I was thinking, these guys are gonna. I think you got it.
No, I did not. I saw it laugh. But it was starting to. Like, there's a weird like vibe, like a real weird tone to, especially with the music playing and the things. I was like, oh, this is actually getting kind of weird.
I thought, these guys gonna want your blood now.
This is getting a little too much, right? And then and so I really like that kind of. I don't know, like claustrophobic feeling of this weird, like really kind of overzealous, like religious group. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I like that because it kind of played into actually what ended up becoming the end of the show. I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense because this shit was all fake. Not fake, but you know, for the wrong reasons. You know, or basically,
Right. No, I agree. Yeah. And it makes sense that you would have to do this in a small town. Like if you did something like this in New York, you would just be, freak number 458 on the corner doing musician. Whatever. Yeah. So it makes sense that they would take this to a small town, either somewhere maybe farm country in Illinois, the Bible Belt, it would have worked there as well. Or you go to a small town in Mexico. But I think it worked well for that town in Mexico because, one, the mom was trying to get away. Yeah. She was trying to get off the grid. So I don't know if that's how it happened in the comic book.
It doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, okay. It's very different, yeah.
Okay. It would make sense that you would get out of the country altogether if you're trying to hide,
right,
from these forces. So that made sense. I agree. I agree that taking it to a small town and just watching everybody, clamor for whatever they can, everyone trying to get a piece of them. I'm glad the people, I guess a positive also, the people were a little more three-dimensional than what typically could have been done, where, like, for example, the priest, normally in that kind of situation, the priest would just be trying to use him for his own goals or whatever, but it seemed like the priest was legitimately trying to help him and not force his will on it, because he essentially says that at some point, like, I'm here for you, I'm here to help you right now, kind of
That's
thing.
True, but then you can kind of see he gets caught up in that religious fervor as well,
right?
So he kind of also had some misguided
right, and as well. I think for the most part you see that coming. I think most people aren't surprised that something like that would happen,
right?
And again, I figured that was going to be the case as well, but I'm glad before that, it wasn't just right out of the gate. He was in this lane of me thing. And it maybe, deep down, maybe he was on some levels, definitely. But when he was speaking with Jody and trying to help him out as best he could, he was saying like, hey, I'm here for you, for the most part, Yeah. So I like seeing that. I'm glad they didn't lean with a story like this. You're going to start hitting all the tropes. I'm glad they didn't lean too deeply into the tropes of this person's just this. Even with Angelo, he seemed like he's a stereotypical bully, but then you start to see more of his story, and I think his story is one of the best ones in there. So that kind of thing I like to see, that they didn't just lean on the obvious.
Stereotypical
jokes or
for all of them. That's true. And then I did like And then all of this is really like it's like the original comic book is only 4 issues.
Yeah,
it's very short, and so there's not a lot of like
the first chapter or the whole entire thing.
The first chapter. There's only 4 issues, so it's literally Jody. The truck almost hits him. He's with his buddies. And then he starts all of a sudden he's like really smart at school. He's actually like a dumb kid at school kind of. He's all of a sudden like really smart at school, and then like he starts like figuring things out, performing miracles. And then there's the priest that doesn't believe in God anymore kind of guy.
Yeah.
And at the very end, he like saves his dog, I guess, and like then he believes. But then the car picks him up, and then you find out who he really is.
Yeah.
And it's really short. It's really short. There's not a lot of there's not a ton of like build up, you know, like in the show.
Yeah.
And what was the point of this?
Yeah.
So I do like that they did a lot of contrasts of who you think he is,
right,
and then versus who he actually is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially the very end, like when he saves Tuca, it's like, oh man, that was like the worst part. Is that like one of their best friends is killed, and he couldn't bring him back, and he saves Tuca, and then everyone is like celebrating, right. Yeah, it's all this like great moment, and then you find out like, oh, he's not.
That's
God.
not the case at all.
Yeah, he's not God's son. This guy's this is actually
which was cool.
Yeah.
And at first I thought, oh, this is just one of those clear subverting expectations, like you didn't see that coming kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I guess that's clearly how the story goes.
Yeah, it doesn't. You know? It doesn't. For the most part, that's the point of the book is that he thinks, and everyone else thinks he's the son of God, but he's not. You know, he's the son of the devil.
Yeah.
And you find that out towards the end, but there's more. There's a lot less of him, like showing signs of who he really is. I mean, there are a couple. There's more things that lead up to it. Like towards like the last issue, you start to see things that are like, oh wait, that's kind of weird for you to be like that, or for this to happen to you, you know?
Yeah.
And he doesn't really have a big relationship with his friends, like even the girl, like his neighbor. She's not really a huge part. And then his parents are just like they basically were hired because she was gonna give birth to him. Yeah. And so they got some guy to like play his dad, basically.
Got it.
And so they weren't as important. The mom becomes important in the next 2 books. Kind of actually pretty important. So it was cool to kind of see that transition, I guess, is my point. Is to see that contrast. Because at the very end, you're actually kind of thinking like, oh, okay, this guy he's performing miracles, he's saving people.
Right.
Yeah,
gotta be.
Yeah, and then fucking he's not.
Yeah.
But they show Jody in the show more so like enjoying that bad part and kind of actually at the very end he has a stupid smirk and he's like, oh, I guess I'm kind of excited that I'm the devil's son.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's not the case in the comic book. Like he's like, what are you talking about? And then like the car drives off, and then and then 12 years later we find out what happens in the next book. You know? Yeah. So so I like that part about it. Yeah. It did get on kind of long some areas.
Big time.
Yeah, they really stretched it out.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that's what I enjoy.
And one last thing I did like that they did go through. It almost feels like when they were shooting this, they shot it from the perspective like we are shooting this as he is the Son of God. He is the second coming. We're not shooting this slyly as he's the Son of God, wink, wink, maybe.
Yeah.
They did. It seems like they did it that way with the miracles he was performing.
Yeah.
They were all, in step with Jesus and his miracles, turning water into wine, feeding the masses.
Right. Yeah.
Even that. It
bring people back to life.
Right. Yeah. Stuff, especially with bringing Tuca back to life.
Yeah.
Right. I figured that's definitely. As soon as that happened, like, okay, I know he's not gonna be dead. I know he's coming back.
Yeah.
But they did hit on all of his, or not all of Jesus' miracles, obviously, but a lot of them, a lot of the big ones, especially with the whole, just all the regular healing of the deaf one, making the person
the blind
deaf,
can see,
the kid could see better. He was
not
kind
crap,
of blind.
sorry, but
yeah. I think one of my favorite miracle that he performed was with the principal and his mother.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't anything really flashy. It wasn't like he didn't save anybody. He brought them peace for both of them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fantastic. That I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Just accepting what's going on. You know, just accepting, you know, so
natural
not fate,
things,
but
you know,
the natural order of things. Yeah. For both of them, for her to let go and for him to let go as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was very cool. So, yeah, I mean, overall, though, pretty good. What are your negatives?
Well, we already talked about the kid, the main actor. Didn't like him very much. It was kind of slow in some parts.
That's my biggest thing. It was very slow,
like the show,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it felt really long.
Right.
And I didn't realize it was gonna mostly be in Spanish with subtitles. Yeah. So it was really hard for me to watch it at work.
Yeah.
So it felt even longer when I had to like kind of pause and do things and come back to things and rewind things, and it felt extra long for me. But there were a lot of, I mean, I know that they were trying to shoot things like artistically, like the cinematography was trying. I think they were trying to shoot a certain way, which I appreciated to an extent. But sometimes it kind of got like, this is just too long. Like you guys are being arty, but it's just too long. Like, it's not really contributing to the story or whatever.
Right.
You know, like, as doing it like just to be artistic for artistic sake versus for the point of the story. Know? And it got really long. Some of the shots were just really long. Some of the dialogue scenes, some of the like the way that the story flowed, like it didn't have a great pacing to me. Like I got like
big time.
Yeah, it was tough to kind of stay into it.
Yeah, I was kind of saying that earlier. Like at some point, it was like I needed to take a nap because this show was like putting me to sleep. It was hard to focus on it. And I feel like it didn't start getting like, I don't want to say entertaining necessarily, but really good. Like where I was paying attention more to like the third episode. Like even the first episode, again, they were setting up that these were like normal kids doing their normal thing, going through the normal hills and valleys of being a 12-year-old, right? But the kids, as likable as all the kids were, I suppose it wasn't all that quote unquote exciting. It wasn't anything that really kept you engaged or kept you wanting to see more or want to see what was going to happen next. They were just some kids in a very dull town going out doing some very dull things, for the most part. So
that wasn't really good for us. But then also though, I guess with the exception of like Wagner and that kind of stuff, I didn't really feel like these kids were friends. Like their chemistry together for the most part didn't quite click for me. Right. And so seeing them go on all these adventures didn't really do much for me. I didn't really buy their relationship, I think. And then what was I gonna say about that? But when at the end when Jodie was telling Wagner like, oh, my favorite parts were that we were together and we were, and they're showing the flashes of them like with the video camera and that kind of stuff. And I was like, these moments didn't really seem that fun. Like from the outside looking in, I'm sure maybe when you're in the moment, whatever, you feel a different way. But like for us as the audience, I was like, I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way for you guys, you know what I mean? So so those kind of moments, I didn't really buy it as much, and then what was happening wasn't really that interesting anyway, up until we get to the point of the, show.
And some of that I equated to like the chemistry, to them just being young and being kids, and I hate seeing kids like kiss and all that kind of stuff. That it does nothing for me. But I figure that maybe that could have been like the first kiss for some of those kids, like literally, like sometimes that's happening. So whenever I see that, as I've heard like other actors kind of say that before, like, being a child actor and the first time they got to kiss someone ever is like on TV with people watching and saying, okay, now do it again or whatever. Right. So I figure that kind of awkwardness, that's how I equate it. So I don't necessarily look for great chemistry, unfortunately. And no, you're 100% right, but I don't necessarily look for it. I'm not surprised if I don't see it with child actors, unfortunately, especially with groups like that. If I see it and it feels like it's there, then that's just fantastic. I love that. That just makes it that much better.
Right.
But otherwise, I kind of give it a little bit of a pass.
I see.
That's just me, though. Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of equated like season 1 of Stranger Things.
Right. That's a great example.
Those kids seem like friends.
They seem like got a great,
Those kids.
Right. That's what made it so great. Right.
Yeah. So that I kind of like, I guess that maybe that ruined everything else for me. Every other kid drama. But so it didn't feel like I didn't really feel connected to any of the characters that much. I mean, I liked Tuca. And he had that. I don't know why I drew this line, but he said this one. Maybe it's my opinion of religion in general, but he had this one line where he said, he said a different name for God, and they're like, "Oh, you mean God?" He's like, "Well, the name doesn't matter. It's the same in every religion." I was like, "That's kind of a good. That's like kind of a like I don't know. That idea kind of stands out to me a little bit. The way he said that, and the way his connection to whatever his culture was.
Exactly.
And that, I liked his kind of
his take on it.
his take on that, and then his connection to his culture and his like their past and their kind of tribal.
He was really in between like both those worlds.
Right. Yeah.
He was really in between both those worlds.
Yeah.
Because he did have his culture, like you were saying, but he was clearly within a very Catholic, society, community, his friends and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, I could see the value in both of them.
Which is kind of insightful for a little kid,
Right. Yeah. True.
Yeah. Let's see what else did I not like. I don't know. I just like there wasn't like there were a lot of good parts in it, a lot of good characters, and a lot of like cool things about the show, but like there's nothing about it really like got me hooked, I guess.
Right. Yeah. That was nothing like super exciting or something that made you like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And based on the comic book where it goes, it gets pretty dark.
Yeah. I kind of did a little research on where it goes, and it gets really interesting.
Yeah. The second book actually is more about the actual like new God or God, right? The actual God's son, or I guess daughter, if I'm gonna ruin it for everybody. But
they kind of hinted at it in the series though.
Oh, okay. Did they?
Yeah, a little bit. They don't say it. They don't really say it like her or whatever. But they talk about this other person, that's out there.
There's another person out there, and so there's that's the second series is basically about her upbringing. And then the third book is like the final confrontation between the two of them, and it gets pretty intense. It gets pretty dark, man. Like when it gets into like the secret society of who Jody is and who he becomes, and like what the whole like how much they run the whole world, basically. It gets pretty dark, man. I was like, I don't know if I can read this like too much more, Like I don't really like getting to like that. I don't know. Maybe I just because I grew up in that world,
right?
And I'm not so much a part of it now. But like, there's always some residual stuff about it. So like, anything super like, I don't know. That's why I don't watch horror movies or like that kind of thing with like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I went to Catholic schools all my life, but I never like that aspect of it never took with me. I suppose like the whole. I mean, well, as a kid, I suppose maybe but I don't believe in magic.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And the further I get away from it, I'm starting like I cut like ties in certain ways. Yeah. But like I don't know. I still don't watch horror movies that have anything to do with like.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's part of the it's part of the foundation.
It's hard to like break some of that stuff off. So like when I read the book 2 and 3, I was like, this is a little much for me. And it gets pretty dark. And Mark Millar is known for being super graphic, like in his books. Like whether it's like sexual, whether it's gore, all this stuff is super graphic typically. Like and he doesn't hold back in this book either. So I can't imagine they're gonna get that far into it with Netflix series.
Sure.
But they're gonna have to show where Jody ends up and who the actual daughter of Christ is. And for it to continue, if it's gonna continue.
Yeah, I like again, I did a little bit of research into where the story goes, and I kind of liked the conclusion of the story. It's actually
overall. Kind of a happy ending.
It was a very interesting ending. Not the ending you would think, but like you said, it seemed like it was kind of a happy ending.
Yeah, it is kind of a happy ending overall. Yeah. And it is a little...
Yeah, I mean all that dark stuff that Jody and his people are into is a thing.
Which is pretty shitty stuff. But there's like redemption, and there's like that kind of thing, and there's whatever the
redemption was
staple of Christianity is mercy and forgiveness, I guess, right? So there's a lot of that, and it does end happy overall. But getting there is pretty rough.
Right.
Getting it's pretty rough, and I wonder where if the show continues. I'm not sure where it's at, if it's gonna cancel or not. But if it continues, I wonder how far they're gonna take it.
Right.
I imagine it's gonna end similarly, probably. If they want.
I would hope.
Yeah. It's a good way to end it. It'll probably piss off a lot of Christian people.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit the the narrative
of
what we've been told or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So
what we
thank you.
expect to happen. So
right.
So let me ask you this question. Being a good Catholic lad, or at least at one point in time, what was I gonna say? Like, what do you think would happen? And I mentioned this earlier. What do you think would happen if Jesus were to come down? Like, how do you think people would react to that? How do you think the world would react? Would they accept it? Would they push back against it?
I'm gonna say that they're gonna react the same way they react to Superman coming down. Like they'd be shocked and confused, but also in awe of this super being.
Yeah.
Right. And then there'll be the opposing, also the people that either believe, like the religious people that believe he's a false prophet or whatever.
Right.
Or just the people that, I don't know, that aren't religious that also hate him.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna be, I don't know, it'll be a mixed bag. I think it'll be. I think.
Yeah, that's I know it's a pretty broad question.
Yeah, but I think it'll be like similar to, if you believe the stories in the Bible. I'm sure it'd be similar to that. Like people would believe he is who he is, and people won't. You know what I mean? And it'll be. Yeah, it won't be smooth. You know what I mean?
I should have been more specific when saying, like, what do you think the impact would be on religion? You know what I mean? Like if he were to come back and and I'm going to take Catholicism because that's the big one. It's the most beautiful and fancy and shiny one out there. They got the Pope, they got Vatican, all that good stuff.
Oh, you should see what happens to the Pope in Book 3, man. And the Vatican, just not great for them.
Right. It's not great for those guys. Not great for them.
Yeah, God brings the wrath down for sure.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's pretty intense. Yeah,
and I guess that's my thing. Is like, what happens if there is a second coming and he comes up and he says, there's a whole new scripture now. There's a whole new gospel. All the stuff that you're doing before, now we're doing this.
Yeah.
There's always been an upgrade. It started with Judaism.
Yeah.
We got Christianity.
Right.
Then, you have the segues. You've got Islamic culture, the religion, that kind of thing. And then you have the various, offshoots within. So what happens if someone shows up and says, okay, all that stuff you're doing before, great, but now we're doing this, and we're doing this because I said so. I'm God. The end.
I'd say burn him at the stake because I don't trust him. No,
right. That's what some people see. I'm thinking like some people are going to say, I've built my power system, my level of authority and whatever I have. Yeah. And whether they want to admit it or not, there is some, I don't want to say pride necessarily, but they've accomplished something and they want to hang on to it, right? So when someone else comes along and says, all that stuff you're doing before was garbage, we're not doing that anymore. Yeah. All the stuff, there's a dozen different reasons why any faith will say, you're bad. Yeah. I'm good. Do it my way. Right. And then somebody comes along and says, all the stuff that you're saying is bad, it's not bad. Right, it's good, or it's fine, or whatever.
Yeah, that's I don't want to get into religion and stuff. We try not to.
Too late.
Religion
I know. I took it there.
Politics,
I apologize.
we never get into that. But the thing about different organized religions is that who you get to decide what you think is right and wrong. And this person says this will take you to hell, but then the other religious group says, "Oh, no, that's not going to take you to hell." Yeah, and it's all this different. Like, who decides that, right? So, like in a perfect world, if that were to happen, maybe it sets everybody straight, which would be great.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Which would be great. But the problem is, so like when we get further into the comic book series, where Jody comes from, like, so in the series too, people in Santa Rosalita or whatever, that town, they're gonna believe forever that he is the son of Christ, right? Because of what
wherever he goes, right?
Wherever he goes,
spread from there.
But in the book, he continues to have this outward appearance of everyone of him being the good guy. But behind closed doors, he's evil. You know what I mean? And so that's how he tricks people into believing that he is who he is, or who he says he is, right? So I mean, that's also another layer to it. It's like, oh, what, this guy's fucking liar. You know what I mean? How do we know? You know? So yeah. But I don't know. Interesting question. But I mean,
yeah. I mean, these kind of stories bring up interesting questions, thought provoking questions and topics. And
I think that's what Mark Millar meant to do, because I read the foreword. Well, Simon Pegg wrote the foreword, which is pretty great because Simon Pegg is actually atheist. But
Simon Pegg wrote the foreword.
He wrote the foreword to the book, to the trade paperback, like the one collected edition. So he wrote the foreword to that, and he's atheist, I think, but he wrote a pretty good intro to it.
Yeah, not in Superfuzz.
Was that?
I said not in Superfuzz.
Not super.
Or
Hot Fuzz?
Hot Fuzz. I said super. That's a different movie. There's a movie called Superfuzz.
Oh, is there?
Hot Fuzz. Yeah, it came out in the 80s.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then Mark Millar wrote at the end about why he wrote this story, and it was kind of like, because he grew up in a Catholic household.
He's Irish, right?
Yeah, he's Irish. Yeah, he still grew up Irish Catholic, and he still is, I think, Irish Catholic.
Yeah.
But he kind of wrote this story as a way to like incorporate his upbringing, but put in like a fantastical world in the comic book, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like he wrote like, I hope my parents don't hate this because it comes from a good place, you know, it comes from a place where like I want to highlight my upbringing, you know what I mean, and celebrate it, you know.
I wonder why he did America. Well, I mean, I could imagine why he did America and not Irish. Jesus.
Right, yeah.
You know?
But I mean, America is evil towards the end of this book, so
oh wow,
yeah. So maybe that's why he did it, because he wanted to.
Yeah, you want to keep Ireland clean.
Yeah.
Keep the rest of us besmirch.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah. So it's kind of interesting why he wanted to do this story, you know, and it's I guess kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
I guess it comes from a good place, regardless if like I imagine if some preacher or pastor reads it, is like, oh, this is blasphemy, you know.
Yeah.
But
and that's the thing, like you're saying, like overall, and again from what I kind of gleaned in some research, overall it does have a very happy, somewhat of a happy ending as far as the redemption factor is concerned. Like it's surprisingly positive what they do with it. Like it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, especially, I mean, hopefully. Yeah, if Netflix pursues it, they'll stick to it.
Yeah, especially how it builds up to this giant final battle.
Right,
and then
it's like wow, this is happening.
This is what happens. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, interesting take for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. So I guess overall, I think it doesn't have a great score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't think so. I think it was 5.8. I want to say.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But where are we sitting at that? Where are you sitting at, you think?
You know what? It's I was gonna say wait for it to come out of streaming. But that's where it's already at.
Yeah.
So I'll put it this way. Let me put it this way. If they do a second season, then by all means watch it.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to say right now, we don't know. This series in and of itself, it brings up some cool topics, you know, ultimately, but again, it's really long.
Yeah.
And it really takes away from it. You know, I'm sure it's overall it's great and all that kind of stuff, but it really takes away from it. If they opt to do a second season, then I would 100% say watch this, because I feel like the second season would be a great, you know, I keep saying this whole bookend thing, but it would be a great compromise or contrast. Or it would complement the first season very well if they do the second season, and if the second season is about the girl.
Yeah.
So if they do that, that would be great. And starting off with Jodie is a great way to do it. Because if you do it the other way around, like Jodie, you already don't believe him. You're already not pulling for him. You already don't have that connection. So starting with him is great.
Yeah.
And if they do a second season, by all means, watch it. If they don't, I would say maybe watch it if you get a chance to, kind of thing.
Not a priority though.
Don't make it a priority.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's only because it dragged so much. Like if they kept this thing, if the pacing was better on it, it might have been a little more exciting. Like things that should have been done in 10 minutes, they turn into 30 minutes worth of just dragging your feet. And it's like, man, we already know where this is going. Like you're not. This series, as good as it maybe is, it's not as clever as you guys might think it is,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
I think they're really thinking this is really artistic and really like suspense building.
We've seen this before and we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So can we just hurry up and get to where this is going? Like the whole thing with Tuca at the end, like we already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is no surprise. So let's get to it and show me something else.
Yeah.
Let's move on from there.
Right, so I was thinking like when I first saw the 6 episodes, I was like, oh, okay, short series, cool.
Right.
It still felt long. Like this could have been a 4-episode series.
Right.
Like the comic book, could have been shorter. Yeah.
It was 6. That's a good point. It was 6 episodes and it felt long.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Right. Yeah.
That's not good. And why did Jodie's mom let him get in the car and drive away? Like, why?
Yeah.
What?
Right. Yeah.
Your 12-year-old son. Okay, bye.
Going off with the people that you've been like defending him from.
Trying to avoid forever and a day. And it's like,
there's a lot of things I had questions about in this. Yeah, I don't know, like why there's a lot of things that I didn't understand. Yeah. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So what do you give it? What do you give it? Give me your percentage too.
I wouldn't say skip it. I think
okay.
There's some things that are cool about it.
Yeah.
And just for the fact that it's a comic book adaptation,
right?
And
because of who did it.
Yeah, because of who did it.
Just because of who did it. That alone.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't just dismiss it.
Yeah, it's not. Yes, yeah, and it's not DC or Marvel. It's a very not typical comic book adaptation.
Right.
And just for that, I would say check it out.
Right on. That's cool.
But it's not a priority though.
Yeah.
Like 7th or 8th in line on your list of things to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I would say go and read Mark Millar's like American Jesus, or go read any of his other books. Like if you read Kick-Ass, man, that's the greatest comic book for me. One of the greatest comic books, and it like the movie doesn't do it justice at all.
Right on.
And so, which is kind of sad that most of Mark Millar's like movie adaptations aren't great.
Yeah,
I really liked Wanted, but it's like nothing like the comic book at all.
Yeah, I liked Wanted too.
Yeah,
right. They kind of did that same thing with the whole taking pills to dull your powers.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
I picked up on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Very similar.
I kind of picked up on. Well, I don't know if they did it all throughout, but I picked up on like some of the characters' names, like Magda. I figured that was like Magdalene, Mary Magdalene kind of thing.
Yeah, you think. I think
maybe,
yeah. That girl's name in the comic book is Maggie. So
okay.
I mean, they're probably just doing the, I don't know.
Yeah, yes,
Mexican
the equivalent thereof.
Yeah.
It seemed like in the beginning there were like 3 people that took the baby when the baby was born.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's the 3 wise men kind of thing. But that's still looking at it from that very like they're following Christianity.
Right.
Kind of thing.
But these guys knew who he was, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. But I figured that's, I mean, the wise men knew who Jesus was. That's why they went to go see him or who he was supposed to be.
Oh, true.
So I thought, okay, there's 3 guys standing there. Oh, they're the 3 wise men. I was looking for those connections.
I see. Yeah.
And there were a lot of them throughout. I mean, a lot of them weren't so subtle.
Yeah.
Again, like water into wine, all that kind of stuff. Him walking on water at some point.
Right. Yeah.
All that stuff was very obvious, but
yeah,
I was looking for those kind of things here and there.
Yeah, and as far as I can tell, like whatever this secret society is in the show, that are like the good guys, I guess. When you find out later that one guy has been taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah,
I guess he works for the good people, I guess, trying to
I'm like, if you know who he is, why didn't you
take him out, man?
Why didn't you do just? And I got the impression he probably took out a lot of different kids.
Yeah,
thinking like, oh, this is the one. Bam,
and he wasn't the one. Yeah. Yeah, because he does say like, please don't let this be the wrong one again. I can't do it again.
Like, what are you doing right now? Yeah. Like, what were they doing that made you think, all right, this kid needs to get killed?
Right. Yeah.
I'm assuming he was killing him.
Yeah. So it seemed like
Yeah. What were these kids doing that made you say, this is it?
Maybe it's this kid.
All right, now the first kid I get, you're brand new on the job.
Yeah.
I can't wait to kill an evil kid.
Yeah.
And you run out there and like, what? He didn't wait for the light to turn green before he walked in the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the one. Bam, I killed him. Oh, I got a little overzealous. I apologize. But he had a lot of names crossed off or a lot of pictures crossed off.
Yeah.
There's even a black kid in there.
Oh.
I'm like, look, he wasn't crossed off. I don't want to say anything. Why, if you know that this kid has like some sort of Anglo-Saxon tendencies, Caucasian, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Why was a black kid on the list? Like, know the mom. We already know the mom. Like, what?
It's like
You've seen the baby.
No, it's like a wild card thing, like, just in case. Like a wild card, just in case. No, yeah, you never know.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Let me take out a random black and Asian child. Just in case.
You never know.
Just in case. So, yeah. And I didn't know what his deal was exactly, right?
Yeah.
Because he could have taken Jody out, he could have taken the mom out, but he decided not to do it. So if you at some point you know what's going on. There was that weird scene where he puts the test out in front of him.
Yeah.
And Jody grabs the necklace he's wearing. And he just lunges for it. It goes into the cave.
Yeah.
And then it comes back to normal. And he's like, okay, bye. Like, what?
Yeah.
What happened? Did you not see that? We saw it.
Yeah.
Did you not see it? Did that not mean you should have shot him right then and there?
But then he reports back to his people and is like, oh, yeah, I saw he took me to a cave or something like that.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, then you know.
Right. So finish it.
So
I mean, did they think he was maybe the legitimate?
I don't know.
Savior?
But then they're telling him though he gets like reprimanded later on.
Yeah, at the end of the series,
you try to go after him by yourself or something like that.
Yeah,
you try to kill him yourself or something like that. I don't know what they're saying to him, but
you could have. I don't
know. No, like those people weren't in the comic book at all. Like the secret society of good guys trying to kill the devil's kid. Weren't in the comic book. So I was like, that I don't know who you guys are. And I don't know that I care.
Right? Yeah. A little X factor in there.
There's actually there's the opposite. Like people are trying to go after. Like the God's kid, in the second series,
right?
Like that happens like quite a bit, but like not in this first one. So,
you know what? And that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me on some level that there would be somebody going after the devil's kid. Like, why not?
Yeah.
If they found a way to track him down, him or her down,
right? Yeah.
Why would they not do that? If you got somebody gunning for the Messiah, why not gunning for the anti-Messiah? Yeah, I don't know. There's again
a lot of questions.
It brings up a lot of questions.
Yeah, with a lot of that didn't have great answers.
Yeah,
but I was saying maybe just stream it, but like maybe towards the end.
Yeah.
But then
I was thinking like if they got a second season for it.
Yeah,
if
maybe
you hear a second season getting picked up.
But don't let this deter you from Mark Millar's work.
Oh yeah, 100%. Definitely.
This guy's stuff is all hits.
Yeah.
The only book that I read from that I didn't like was probably Kingsman. Actually,
really?
That's like the one time I liked the movie better than the comic book. The one time.
The movies are great.
Yeah. But other than that, everything else I've read from him is just gold. So,
right on. So your percentage you're about to say?
Probably like 65.
Ooh, wow,
maybe
okay.
63. I'm like I liked it, but not enough. Not enough to get me excited about anything. Like I'm not writing home about it.
Sure. No, I might give it like a 72. I might say.
I was originally when I was first like watching it, I was kind of like, oh yeah, this feels like a 70s range,
Yeah,
but then, the more I thought about it, and I was like,
I can't argue.
I liked less about it than I liked.
Then you liked. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, more than I did like.
That makes sense. And I completely get that. I get it. I think I'm optimistic for what potentially might come down the line.
Right.
So, if that's the case, then it should be good.
Should
be good.
We'll see though.
Unless they effing drag it out.
Yeah.
How do you make 6 episodes?
Yeah.
And one of the episodes is like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
How do you make 6 episodes like dull?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Boy.
I kind of wish it was like the comic book, like short and to the point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if they just made it 4 episodes. Here's the thing. If they made it 4 episodes, that would be an easy watch for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody can do 4 episodes. That's nothing. I can do 4 episodes.
Right. Yeah.
They're 45 minutes to an hour long each. And you keep it moving.
Yeah.
That is an idea and a concept to make some of these shows better. Maybe. Yeah. This one in particular.
Right, yeah.
Don't drag it out. Keep it tight.
Yeah.
And keep it good.
And I've never been a proponent of like, oh, shorter is always better. Like that's RJ's department. RJ loves everything short.
He does.
Wants everything to be as short as possible.
Yeah.
That's not who I if it doesn't matter if it's long, if it's good, it's good. Right?
Exactly.
But in this case, especially for a series, like let's get to the point.
Right.
Tighten it up a little bit. You know, we got lives.
Trim the fat. Trim the fat. A lot of this stuff nobody cares about. It's boring.
And it's
not moving.
Yeah, it's not overly contributing to the narrative, I think. And that's also the issue. Like there's stuff that like we can get the point without that.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff.
Not engaging.
Yeah.
Man, this could have worked 4 episodes.
Yeah.
That would have been 2 hours of like whatever, or an hour and a half at least.
Yeah.
Of stuff of our lives taken back.
Yeah, for sure.
Anywho,
that's life we live. That's crew we choosing, right? Is a watch stuff. Anyways, that's not Bible talk. I'm done with Bible talk.
True that.
Let's move on to what are we into this week?
Let's see. what was I? So, I got to watch One Piece.
Okay.
What? Man, I was going to say, I haven't watched Ahsoka yet.
I haven't yet either, but I'm also kind of excited.
I'm very excited. I'm hearing good things about it. Yes.
Yeah, Drew, Will, he messaged me and said, yo, Ahsoka is dope. And
nice.
I was like, so that means I'm going to hate it if you like it.
If you like it.
Right. Yeah, because he didn't like Andor, so. Backhand to you, Will. But he was just like, yeah, you don't like anything. And I was like, true. Kind of true. So, but he was talking about it. He said it's good.
Right on. Yeah, my friend at work, Doug, who's a huge Star Wars fan, he watched it and he said it was good too.
Okay.
He is up to date on all of it. Clone Wars, Rebels, all that stuff. I am not. Like for squat. But I remember trying to watch it like late at night, like midnight kind of thing on Wednesday kind of thing. I was watching it and I was like just too out of it.
Yeah.
So I probably picked up on like a good 2 minutes of it.
Oh, gotcha.
But within that 2 minutes, I remember like it looked different. It felt different. Just within like that little bit that I caught.
Okay.
It seemed pretty cool.
Be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
like in
still
comparison to like Obi-Wan or something, right?
Yeah, compared to like almost everything in the last like year or two. So unfortunately, but it feels pretty good.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna watch that. Probably will try to watch it tonight.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that I really saw this week. Playing Overwatch, and I don't know why I'm playing Overwatch still.
Yeah.
I say that every episode.
Yeah, I didn't know you were still playing it.
Yeah, I play it and I get pissed and I said never again. And then I turn around and it's like muscle memory to turn on and start watching it again. So
got it.
Watching Pluto. I saw How the Universe Works is on Max.
Okay.
How the Universe Works is this great docu-series about you would actually like it. Okay. You would like it if you haven't seen it or if you haven't heard of it. But it talks about astronomy, astrophysics, all that kind of stuff. It talks about the universe. Yeah. It's basically called How the Universe Works. Fantastic show. I know I've talked to you about like my own little theories about the universe and cosmos and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It all stems from that. Oh, okay. It all stems from that. Well, I'll say like 90% of it. Okay. Guaranteed stems from that.
Nice. Well, when we go see
Neil deGrasse
in October,
baby,
you can ask him yourself.
I'm tempted. I don't know if I want to like say it out loud because all right,
he makes people feel stupid.
No. He's pretty. I think he's pretty good to the audience. I think if I'm not just from I watch a lot of his stuff.
Yeah. He's very direct. Yeah, he's very direct in his.
I think if I were to ask like a dumb question, then maybe I might get something, or maybe a question disrespectful to science and more to the science process. Oh yeah, I think if you
don't ask him about UFOs or anything like that, life on other planets, he shits on that all the time.
Yeah. He's not.
It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, he is not a fan of that. Yeah. Yes, I should tell you not to ask him.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him like, what do you think of the?
I saw a UFO coming in to see you today. Yeah. Just 5 minutes ago.
I actually wrote a UFO here to talk to you. I talked to you about it.
What do you guys think about that? Yeah. So, I'm like I was about to say, though, I am a little hesitant to ask the question in general. Yeah. Because I think it's a really good subject. I think it's a really legitimate theory. Yeah. That I...
Right,
kind of pulled out,
I remember,
right?
I remember, yeah. Right. Yeah, so, it sounded pretty cool.
I don't know how to put it out there, and then someone's like, hey, wait a minute, that does work. Let me go and do the research.
So they'll take it.
Some other guy gets the Pulitzer Prize, or not the Pulitzer Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize in science.
Or it gets thrown out into the open, and people are able to pick it apart.
Yeah, that also happen. But you know what? But I would actually like to pick apart, because if it doesn't work, like I would really like to know why. That'd have to be like a legitimate reason why it doesn't work. And then if that's the case, I'm just learning something.
Gotcha. You know? Yeah. I'm just overall glad that you remember seeing Neil deGrasse, because Ariana asked me the other day. My girlfriend asked me, "She's like, does Mark know that we're seeing Neil deGrasse in October?" Oh, I was like, probably not.
Yeah, no. She was right. She was 100% right to do that. Because, only because it's Neil deGrasse Tyson, I remember.
And it's right down the street.
Yeah, it's right down the street. So it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. So, no, she was 100% right to, and she may want to bring it up a couple more times before.
Over the next month or so.
Yeah.
When we get to it, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so, that's exciting.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you into?
Dragon Ball. I got to the second Tenkaichi tournament.
Nice. Where he's fighting Tien?
Yep, Tien and Chaozu, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good fight.
Tien, man, like...
Tien's...
He's a beast, man.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I remember having a conversation with my brother, and he was talking about, like, I think something was going on with Piccolo, and he was like, it's only Piccolo. It's like, only Piccolo.
What are you talking about?
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you
don't
know
how devastating he
was.
Right,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Piccolo, you know how bad he is at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, but you see him, I don't know, he doesn't get quite as much fanfare, or I don't want to say respect, but in Dragon Ball. But all the other characters, like Tien, Tien drops the Kamehameha,
sends it right back at him,
just out of nowhere.
Yeah, like the first time he sees it, and he just like sends it right back.
He's like, is that what you here? I got one too. And
sends it.
Right.
Oh, man.
Like one of the most iconic move in Dragon Ball Z. Like,
so
he learned it like instantly. Yeah,
it's not going to work from anybody else on him now. Right. Or I'm thinking I haven't gotten past that, but but like what's cool about Dragon Ball is that it shows how level they all were at one point.
At one point in time,
because even when you first meet Yamcha, he's a tough fighter for Goku. You know?
Big time.
And all these people, and
right now
all,
now in like Dragon Ball Z, it's just like a background.
Yeah, but like even now Yamcha is still getting stronger, and he's pretty strong for the Tenkaichi.
Right. But Chaozu's or not Chaozu, Tien still like just
was better. Yeah. But even Tien, like in Dragon Ball Z, Tien he's all right.
Yeah.
But he's not Goku or Gohan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's cool seeing them all on level playing field, because you're like, oh, these guys are actually pretty strong.
Yeah. They are, right. Give them the respect.
Just when you get to Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyans are all that matter, I guess.
Right, yeah.
But
they're
whatever.
They're not human, so it's a whole different level.
Yeah, exactly. But
but Tien's got, it's not even in my opinion. I mean, even Master Roshi says this, and I don't know if they've gotten to it yet. I don't know how far you are, but Tien and his school has so far as we know, at least on Earth, the most powerful attack or technique in the Dragon Ball universe. He's got
that is
a good one. That is a good one. That's a good crane.
Because Chaozu's about to fight Krillin, and that's the name of the episode. But isn't that the same weapon that the assassin uses on Goku?
That's the one that assassin uses. That jacks Goku up.
Yeah, he only gets saved because of the freaking Dragon Balls in his pocket.
Yeah, right. It effed him up. But that's not it. It's the in the comic book, it's called the Kikoho.
Okay.
Which means like chi cannon.
Oh, okay.
But in Dragon Ball Z, they called it the Trigun.
Oh,
the tri-beam. The tri-beam attack.
Yeah.
Right?
That's this one, right?
Yeah, he does that. He makes that triangle thing going on, and when he's fighting Nappa, he only does it with one hand because he has one hand.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's the Trigun, they called it. But that is the most powerful move in Dragon Ball Z, at least, or Dragon Ball, according to Master Roshi. And again, Master Roshi
is the man.
Jackie
Chun?
Yeah, Jackie Chun, right? He's got the Kamehameha. That's him.
Yeah,
he taught everybody else the Kamehameha, right?
Yeah.
So I think he even taught Goku's grandfather the Kamehameha.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I just saw the episode where he fights his grandpa. Yeah, that was kind of cool. That's a good episode.
Cool.
Great episode. Yeah.
So he says that the chi cannon or the tri-beam is the most powerful move, because technically if you do to its ultimate, it's drawing on your own life energy, your own power, so it can kill you in the process, but it's very powerful.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know if people really appreciated it, but you see it like when he uses it against Nappa. Right. I mean, he's pretty weak, unfortunately, but he uses it against Nappa.
It does some damage, though.
It does some damage. I think it's the first time you really see him damaged.
Yeah.
It works against when he's fighting Cell. And it doesn't do a lot of damage because Cell is so overpowered. He's stronger than a Super Saiyan at that point.
Yeah.
But this normal dude is able to at least hold him at bay. He's
human, right?
Yeah, he's still human. Or
yeah.
I think there's a theory that he might be an alien. Actually,
he's got 3 eyes, I guess.
He's got 3 eyes. Yeah, I just assumed that's just part of the technique. He developed a third eye some kind of way.
Yeah, some kind of Zen thing.
Exactly, a Zen thing. Yeah. But at some point, he's blasting Cell just to stall for time.
Yeah,
but Cell can't get away from it. Cell's trying to fly away, and he keeps getting knocked down with that tri-beam attack.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, like I said, he's stronger than your standard Super Saiyan at that point. And this normal dude from Earth is just batting them down,
right? Yeah,
just over and over and over again. So. Yeah, he deserves some level of respect.
I think so for sure. Yeah. And he's pretty devastating right now too.
Yeah.
So I'm like really enjoying Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
man.
check out Dragon Ball if you haven't seen that, man.
Yeah, it's great. Like, I'm actually kind of excited to get back into Dragon Ball Z now too. It's been years since I've seen it.
Oh, right on.
I'm kind of like re-excited about it. I didn't think I was ever gonna like want to go back to. I spent so much time with it, and then there's so much other shit has come out since then.
Definitely.
But man, I'm like really enjoying it. Like, I just can't take my eyes off of Dragon Ball. Like I watch 3 or 4 episodes a day at least. You know,
that's cool.
So
that's cool.
I'm really into it. But
the first season of Dragon Ball Z for me might be, and as good as the other ones are, it might be my favorite. Dragon Ball, the first season of it. And the other seasons are all great, and it just gets better and better for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I think the story and the concept of that first season is great. That this thing is coming for these guys that is more powerful than the guy that just devastated all of you.
Right.
And you kind of got lucky beating him.
Right.
And now this thing is coming within. You got 1 year to get ready for something that's even worse.
Right. Yeah.
Even worse.
That's
good luck. And it's just this thing hanging over your heads. Yeah. So.
And then Yoshi meets, what's his name? Yajirobe saves the day.
Yajirobe cuts the tail off the ape.
Yeah.
No time for Yajirobe.
But anyway, but that's all I've been into this week. Yeah.
Right
so.
on. Cool.
Cool. Anyway, we're getting on a little long.
Yeah, I didn't mean to take so long.
No. We just got into a long conversation about religion, and then now we're into my religion, Dragon Ball. So yeah. The only thing I truly believed in as a kid was Dragon Ball Z. So
if I can collect those Dragon Balls.
Yeah. I want those. Now I really want those display Dragon Balls.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get those. I've just never pulled the trigger on
it. Remember I used to see them in Amazon all the time too.
Yeah.
In bays in Amazon, I was like, dude, this is cool, man.
Right. I know. I saw so many cool things at Amazon.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
And they're like legitimate like Dragon Ball size.
Like the size. And so now I really want some.
Right.
If see them at the con, I'm gonna get them.
Or somewhere,
wherever I see them. Yeah, for sure. All right. Anyway, that's it, huh?
That's it.
So thanks for checking us out.
Appreciate
As always,
it.
you check us out everywhere on the GOTS Pod, on most places, but on a couple places like Facebook or YouTube, we're Geek Off The Street.
Right.
Easy to remember. Contact us out every day.
Yep.
Leave us a like, comment, follow,
all the stuff
you can do would be great. Leave us a 5-star rating if you can.
We love the likes, we love the comments.
Yes, we do. We love talking to you guys the most. That's the fun. And a lot of people have been responding to us recently.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, we always respond back. So if you write something to us, we'll write something back to you.
Exactly. Jeremiah talks to us. Brett's been talking to us a lot. Aaron, Eric King's come out the woodwork. He's been talking to me a lot about the Lakers and stuff I don't really know anything about. But he does message. He's been messaging me a lot recently. And he actually did ask me to ask you a question. Before we end here, he ask Mark if you watch Warrior. I think it's a martial arts show, maybe on Max.
I think it's on Max. I think it is. I want to say it's supposed to be based on a series that Bruce Lee was trying to create. I want to say.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of it.
You haven't heard of it?
No, I'm playing. I have not. I've only watched like the first like 1 or 2 episodes of it. But I did not continue it. I just lost track of for whatever reason.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like if COVID kind of got in the way of it. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, if you're recommending it, if you're saying I should check it out, let me know. I will check it out. But because I do know what you're talking about. Okay. And I've seen some little clips of some of the fight choreography.
Looks pretty good.
It actually looks pretty cool.
Okay.
It's very cool.
Yeah, Eric is a big martial arts fan as equally as he's a fan of rap music and basketball.
No.
I think equally straight across. Those are his 3 things. And he likes Yoshi from Super Mario. A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. There we go. Have you seen The Raid, Eric? Have you seen The Raid?
That's a good question. Yeah. Hey, Eric, man, if you're listening to this, let us know if you've seen The Raid Redemption or The Raid 2 or both.
Yeah, any of them.
And let us know, and I'll relay the message to Mark.
Yeah, no judgment, but yeah, I need to get another opinion on these movies. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I thought we moved past it.
We've never moved past it.
Got it. Okay. Anyway, you guys know where to check us out. We'll be here next week. And yeah, my name's Trent.
And my name is Mark.
And this has been
Geek Off The Street. Nice. You wait until I take a sip.
Perfect timing. I've known my timing.
You're like, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause. He's almost going to take a sip, and I'm going to get him. This effing guy.